What's up, everybody? You're listening to another episode of the SignatureCAST, where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. Today, I am joined by Quadro. Yep, you know it. Guy Cisternino is in the Signature Fitness studio. He just got a leg workout in, of course. Boy. That's what he had to do when he comes to Signature Fitness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on today. How are we feeling?
Great, great. I've been coming here for... It's got to be close to 15 years.
Wow.
I've been coming here since the early days of Signature Fitness.
Did you know the old owner, Alex?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep,
yeah.
sure did.
Previous bodybuilder, of course. And now, shout out to Warren doing a great job making this place bigger and better all the time.
You just showed me 4 rooms I didn't know existed.
Yeah, we've been expanding. We're going to be doing a Pilates studio soon. I don't know. I mean, hey, I hope that hits off. CrossFit's doing well. Strength conditioning.
How many? 50, 60,000 square feet?
Just under 60,000 square feet.
It's like a playground here.
Yeah, it's wild.
You just kept opening doors, and I just kept seeing more and more equipment. I was like, where does this end? Like, I didn't know this existed.
So I've been here now for 6 years, and one of my guilty pleasures, as we were just talking about, is I'm kind of the purveyor of rare and unique equipment, or like just replacing stuff and whatever. And I've been blessed to be able to go places and just be like, yep, I need this, this, and this, and then get it to our doors. And yeah.
Is there a brand that you specifically like, or because you're so nitpicky at individual ones?
Okay. So,
because I get asked this all the fucking time because of how much I travel.
Well, remember, like the first thing I said to you on the phone was like, "Are you a Max Pump?" And I was like, "No, you're like New Tech." I was like, "Oh shit, I had all these messed up."
I was
no. So I am a big believer in number one, just the quality of the machine. A lot of new companies, unfortunately, don't make stuff as good as they used to. And cheap material. And 2 is the movement, right? But you'll definitely agree with me that just because of our builds, there'll be things that work for you that don't work for me and vice versa.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I have this.
And well, you're also even just statures. I'm shorter than you.
Yeah, limb lengths.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so like I have this discussion with Sean Clarita, one of our friends, all the time. Shout out to 2-time Mr. Olympia.
Fuck you, Sean.
Yeah, Sean, if you're listening, you better come back home, all right? Your face is on the wall here. Did you notice that? Did you see
the wall and outside.
Yeah.
About to be replaced, buddy.
So he'll be like, this piece is awesome. And I'll get on it and I'm like, I hate it. Like, for example, the Arsenal pendulum squat. Yep. I hate it. Really? I absolutely. I think if you're over a certain height, it doesn't work.
They have a very thick pad.
Yeah.
And I think if that pad was shorter, you wouldn't be saying
Yeah, exactly. So for me, the length just doesn't work. But Sean like swears by it, right? But so to get back to the original question, I am definitely a massive Nautilus fan. The first piece I ever bought for the gym.
Old Nautilus?
All Nautilus, but definitely old school Nautilus for sure. The first piece I ever bought for the gym was a Gen 1 pullover. But it's the selectorized one.
Did it add the belt, or was it a cable?
What do you mean belt or cable? Like
it was selectorized, so
it's a chain. It's chain driven.
Oh, chain. Okay.
It's chain driven.
Oh,
yeah.
the original
Gen 1.
Was it blue?
It is blue. It's out on the floor. I'll show you.
Oh, really?
I'll show you. Yeah.
You guys have it here?
And it's built like you could throw it off the roof and it won't break.
Yep.
I love that piece. It's absolutely incredible. So I definitely would say I'm a bit of a excuse my language, I'm a Nautilus whore. Like I really like their stuff.
No, I agree.
But there's been pieces from all different companies that I've fallen in love with. TK Star is a huge one.
That's up and coming recently.
So yeah, they're an old company, but he still makes stuff. But
because of social media, I think his name is starting to get out there.
If you want to get a T-bar row, it's going to cost you like $6,000 because it's all handmade. Like it's wild stuff. But yeah, I'm a kid in a candy store, and shout out to my good friend Steve of Super Fitness Gym Equipment. I just went down there, and he had a whole line, which you might have seen of Strive.
He's got a warehouse of everything.
Oh, you think our place is big? He's over 100,000 square feet.
Insane. Of just equipment.
Just
absolute insanity.
It's insane. And he had a whole Strive line, which is now Prime. And so
which a lot of people don't know.
Which a lot of people don't know. And I bought that, and that is has been a massive hit in our gym.
The Strive stuff, huh?
The Strive stuff, yeah.
Wow.
We have the whole line. I'll show you when it's awesome.
Crazy.
And that's why I lined them up all perfectly, and they came out of a YMCA.
Isn't it crazy where these good pieces come from that people don't even know they have there at the time?
But you know what? Not to say a negative, but I'm sure you deal with this because now being congratulations, a new gym owner,
yes,
right? Name of the gym?
Muscle Link in Bethlehem, PA.
Guys, check it out. I'm going to be heading down there because I got to get a workout in because we have some mutual interest in new tech equipment, which we'll be talking about soon.
Yes.
But you know what the biggest shame is? is seeing people treat it like it's garbage. And they don't treat it like because I handpick every piece and I know the story, and like I see someone drop the weight or smash the machine, and it just the things I want to say.
So I was big with like training with very high intensity.
Sure.
And even with my own dumbbells, right? Like I have horrible shoulders, but like I also think there's a difference between, let's say, because I'm sitting 90 degrees, let's say we're doing a shoulder press. In my opinion, it is very different from dropping the dumbbells here or here.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have a problem with this. I have a problem with up here, like high drops. So the amount of people that just like drop, or they'll like they let go of the machine at the highest point.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, man, everybody thinks money. I don't think people realize, and I guess neither did I, but I guess you don't realize like how much gym maintenance and treating the gym with respect, how important that is to build around the gym community, because once it breaks, it's fucking broke for everybody.
One of the biggest payrolls we have here is our cleaning staff.
Yeah.
We have cleaning staff from 4 a.m. I'm sorry, the only times we don't have cleaning staff are 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Wow.
They're working all around the clock the rest of the time. Bathrooms, machines, every single, but it makes a difference.
So my gym, people say I went for like a clean, hardcore look. Mm-hmm. And if I walked in there yesterday and there was like I'm training, I have the vacuum.
You're like,
what? Oh yeah, white glove it, absolutely. Because it's like if everybody comes in, if you take a staff and 5 people wipe down, I mean, it takes 30 seconds to wipe down a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
You wipe down 5 pieces in the beginning at your shift and 5 pieces at the end, the whole gym's done every couple days. Like no questions asked. But you know, I also have to remember that a lot of people that work at the gym are kids. Like we have a great staff, but sometimes you got to like kick them in the ass a little bit to get them moving, you know?
100%.
So I'm learning as I go.
You know, it's unfortunate that the culture that has been created, you know, over the past, I would say, because I think you would agree, even 15 years ago, it was a totally different culture.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right? Like that was the tail end of the, like, I would say respect era.
Yes.
Right? And I hate to bring it up, but I remember recently you had a video where you were, I think, on a hack squat or something, yelling at a guy. Was it for filming? Is that what it was? Or?
I was filming for GASP in Destination Dallas, which is GASP headquarters for in the States. And I was filming with GASP and Better Bodies, and I was on a hack squat machine. And there was just 2 kids on the machine that on a leg press, and they were not doing anything wrong. However, they were dicking around very close to the platform. And I just told them, like, you know, move to the side because I was being filmed. Now, what a lot of people don't understand about the video, because that video went
super viral
all over the place. Some people go, this doesn't matter, but to me it does. Number one, I'm in Dallas, flown in by the gym owner to film for that gym and the clothing company.
Yeah.
So that's
you're working.
Yeah, let me set the stage here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, these 2 kids were filming, but I was also being filmed for the gym and the clothing company. And they were filming a leg press, and I was staying out of their space while they did it. And then once they got done, I went respectfully to do mine.
Sure.
And they were just messing around. And then one kid slapped the kid on the back, and he like took a step or 2 forward, and he came about a foot within the platform. So that's when I said, guys, like, do it to the side. Don't do that in front of me. And then, you know, the one kid said something back. And then I was in the middle of a set, and I was just heated. And I'm like, just do it to the fucking side, dude. Like, don't do it. And then I was like, I'll fucking go outside. And then I jacked the weight off, and I ran up. But what happened was, once I got off the hack squat, they were 8 feet away from me. So now the perception was I'm yelling at these guys 8 feet away from me to stop. So it looks like I'm yelling at people that have no interference in what I'm doing. But
isn't it funny how it always works out that way, right?
I posted the video. I was the one that originally posted the video. Nobody would have saw that if it wasn't for me, and I didn't monetize shit off it.
It's just like you said, we're in a very interesting time, right, in the gym, and I think I hope we're slowly evolving to a new, level of respect. I think a lot of the people have become fed up with the, the lack of respect and culture within the gym, and they're starting to teach the new people. So everything comes in phases,
Yes.
right? So, but we'll move on to greener pastures. But Guy, you're here. I'm so appreciative of you being here. I want to talk a little bit about, just for the people at home who watch, because I always interview bodybuilders and powerlifters and stuff, a little bit about your journey, right? So, NJ homegrown.
Of course.
That's
Born
it.
and raised, man.
Italian Goomba in the house.
Bro.
That's what I love to hear.
Haven't left yet.
I love it, right? So I was reading up in the bio, football, D2, D3, Connecticut, right? You went to,
Western
right?
Connecticut State University.
And then decided to do your first show, I think before your last season, was it?
2003, my junior year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. And then were you just hooked from there on?
I got in a lot of trouble
Yeah?
for competing. My coaches found out I did a bodybuilding show, and they kind of like set me up too, because we got to camp junior year. My dad dropped me off. Coaches checked me in, brought me up to my dorm room, like where I was staying at camp. Get checked in, go down, do the shit that I got to do, the registration, blah, 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 blah. And then my coach goes, all right, after whatever, meet me in Coach Cerace's office. I'm like, yeah, sure. Or Coach Burrow, I forget who it was at the time. And I went in there, and they fucking sit me down at the table, and they had a folder. Like they were FBI informants, and they
Like
just
ready to interrogate.
Yeah, and they threw down pictures of me in the show, and they were like, "You want to explain this to me?" And I'm like, "Well, I did a bodybuilding show," and they were like, "How did you follow the football program and look like this if you were supposed to be following this?" So it was like I once I got to college, as a kid, I always wanted to be in the NFL, right? But when you're a kid, your goals don't necessarily line up with reality, because you're so young, you don't understand what you can accomplish or can't based on. I mean, you could just have a genetic disposition that doesn't allow you to do something, right? So my genetic disposition was, I graduated high school at 165 pounds. I'm not tall. And I wasn't nowhere near one of the fastest or best guys on the football team. So there was no green pastures at the end of my football career.
There's no way to outgrow or to fix that.
No. And I just knew, no matter, even if I got faster, I did not have the ability to play past D3 college. My brother, if he did, he had very big potential, but he chose not to. He did baseball instead. But the problem is that earlier on, I got addicted to working out. Like I really, and in high school before college, being able to work out in a gym and see the improvement in the gym, and then have that literally almost like go into my life, the way, like what the things that happened in the gym. Not only did I get bigger, better, faster, stronger in the gym, but a lot of things in life, confidence and all that also changed. So being in the gym helped me overall as a human being, not just to take my shirt off at the beach or to bodybuild and look good. It helped with a lot of other things, not just the physique and skin, muscle, and all that shit.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was the same way. As we were talking earlier, I was growing up as a chubby kid.
Yeah.
My mom loves to tell the story that when my parents got divorced when I was 7, I discovered food. So I started. I was a picky eater.
Cereal.
Yeah. Oh, you give me bagels, bro.
I was a cereal. I was a fat cereal.
So I did the cereal too. I would always have like. There's no such thing as one bowl, right?
No, it's called a box.
It's a box. That's right.
It's a box. Do you want some Doritos? Yeah. If you
the bag.
asking me, if you just give me the bag and walk away.
So for me, it was like my mom would go to ShopRite and get like the dozen bagels with like the temp tea cream cheese, and it was just rip and eat and like 4 or 5 bagels in a sitting, no problem.
Did you lightly toast?
Oh, so
I like warm. They got to be.
It depends. If I was in like the fiending mode, it was just rip and dip.
Really?
Yeah. And then, as I got older, I was like, toast. I never liked everything bagels. Now everything is like my jam.
Did you ever have the everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's? I use it on everything.
It's so good. You can literally put it on any food that you prep, and it just makes it better.
Or cream cheese toasted bagel, or Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Like if I could only pick one, cream cheese toasted bagel.
Really?
You know what? I like a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, but as I got older, I like the bacon, egg, and cheese a lot better.
I can't say
the Taylor ham. I love it.
I've had a bacon, egg, and cheese, but when I go to a bagel place, I'm like, give me a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
You know what I had for the first time ever last night? Spam. Have you ever had Spam?
Yeah.
Dude, it's literally
Who's ever
it's just
cooking your
Taylor
food?
ham.
Hold on.
No, I was the one
No,
cooking it.
You're watching way too much fucking social media.
Bro, it was
way too
dude,
much
it was
social media.
some dude made cookies with Spam in
Yeah,
it. And then I was like, yo, what's Spam? I've heard it. Spam and eggs, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, last night, I kid you not, I did 3 eggs over easy and a whole can of Spam that I fried up in a fucking pan. It was delicious.
What's the? Hold on. Keep talking. I gotta see.
Yeah, Spam.
I want to see the nutritional facts.
I think it was, I want to say it was about 1,200 calories of Spam. But the protein was pretty high. Sodium was out the ass with nitrates and
Calories.
everything. But,
Okay. Per 2 ounces. How many ounces did you? How many
I ate
ounces?
the whole can. Whatever's in the whole can. It was delicious. It's basically Taylor ham. Like, I'm telling you, if you slice it thin, you won't know the difference.
It's a heart attack in a pan. It's
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
be.
It's
I wanna
so
see-
good for
I
you.
gotta see this.
But yeah, Spam is the way to go.
Really, you were that impressed with it?
Would I pick Taylor ham any day of the week? Sure, but it was good. I thought it was going to be this like disgusting thing, and even the consistency is just like Taylor ham.
So this says calories 174, fat per 2 ounces 15 grams. That's 75 grams of 75% saturated fat. It's got 790 mgs of sodium. No protein. It's 7 grams of protein.
Yeah, it's got protein.
No, so 2 grams of carbs, I'm sorry, and 7 grams of protein. Per 2 ounces. I can spit more than that. It's 15 grams of fat.
It was, yeah,
Oh my God.
it was delicious.
But what, so you got it a little crispy?
Yeah, so
Like
you
browned it?
You fry it up in a pan just like you would Taylor ham.
Yeah.
It gets nice and super good.
See, like, I like to make that stuff and feed it to other people, knowing, and just like try
You're
it
just
and
like,
go,
haha,
here.
here's your heart attack.
Yeah, here, go. You
It's
try
not
it.
something I would do normally. Don't get me wrong, but
Are you a keto guy?
I am a
Because
I've
that's
done it.
that's a keto move.
I exactly.
Okay.
So right now I'm carb cycling.
Okay.
But I did just finish a 3-day fast. And then I broke my fast.
What does that mean? Now you don't know. Is it just water? Or are you coffee water?
Water, coffee, and in my water I'll put just like some salt.
Hydration?
Yeah.
Well,
Not even
hydration?
I just do pink salt. Just
Really?
pink sea salt. Yeah. And I'll do it for 3 days straight. I've done that 20 times now so far.
And what is the reasoning behind it? Like
So-
a gut reset?
So for me, it's definitely a gut reset. I am a water buffalo when it comes to like when I consume large amounts of carbs, I bloat like crazy. I can fluctuate. If you were to ask me right now to drop, well, not right now because I'm not too bloated, but like if I was bloated, I could drop 15 pounds in 2 days of just water.
Do you take anything for that? Like do you hold water? Like do you want to like
No, it's not.
hydrochlorothiazide?
No, it's not to the
or-
point where it's like negative on my blood pressure.
Okay.
So like I'm thankfully even when I was telling you I was
Well, I
like,
couldn't believe what you told me. You look like you weigh 260 because you
Yeah.
look you really good, and then you told me you were 325. I was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
But then you showed me your pictures at almost what was it 297?
297, yeah.
You looked fucking great.
yeah. So
So it's crazy.
it's weird. Even when I was 400 pounds, the highest my blood pressure ever went was 136 over 80.
Now, was that a
Fasted.
no? This is there's no
Okay.
really nice way to ask this.
It's okay.
Was it a fat like you didn't work out like you
No.
were
So
not
I have
physically active?
always worked out no matter what.
Okay, so you were just a big dude.
I was just. I'll show you a photo.
You were a big mofo.
I was.
You were
I had
O-line.
I had the muscle that I have now with all the fat on top of it. All the
Well, you had a picture
So-
of 297 with abs. If anybody doesn't, believe me,
Almost
I saw
abs,
it.
almost
No,
abs.
There were some abs.
the outline was there, but I was. Side note, right? You said you football, right? Of
course, 15 years.
I played football, right?
No, I'd go right for your fucking knees, bro. You'd be done.
No.
I wouldn't even-
I'm saying you would imagine me being like a
Yes.
football player.
Oh
right?
yeah. I would.
Tuba player.
Oh no way.
Tuba
Can you
player.
Still play it?
Of course, I have
I
one at
thought
my
you meant
house.
this. Football player. I was like, I'll take your knees.
No.
There's no chance. I'm
No,
taking
you would destroy me, and I
No, I'm saying there's no way I would run into you. I would just take your knees out because I wouldn't have a
No,
choice.
tuba player, and I even in the University of Massachusetts, I was the drum major, so I conducted the band with 400 people.
No way.
Yeah. I also can sing. That side note. Very musically inclined. My favorite thing in the world is music, but
Believe
and
it or not, I am very, very, very into music.
Really?
Yes.
Love it.
Love music. Big country guy.
This is how far back I gotta go. Okay, here we go. This is the first time I lost weight, like seriously lost weight.
see this.
1 year apart.
Wow.
That was 378 to 276 or something like that. Just over 100 pounds in a year.
Swipe.
That was like when I got this, and so there's me, the heavier. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
But yeah, I don't even know how we got here. Long story short, spam is the shit. No, but oh, you were asking about keto and that type of
Yes.
stuff. So yeah, I do hold on to a lot of water. So I've noticed the fasting for me helps me reset my stomach. I don't have a bad stomach in any way, but I also I kind of enjoy fasting.
I fast every day. That was my first meal I had before I trained.
Oh, so
That was
you'll
meal one.
you'll just do within a 24-hour block you fast.
So this is like my day normally. This was today. Woke up at around 6 o'clock. I do glutamine, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar first thing in the morning before I do before anything enters my body. 5 grams of glutamine, lemon juice, and apple cider vinegar. First thing that goes in my body. Then coffee, blah blah blah. Then 10:30, I box on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I box for a little over an hour. That sucks. Meaning like it's hell. And then I went home, took the dogs out, changed, and then I came here and ate at around 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it was about 3 o'clock.
So I usually eat around 2 or 3, and then I'll go to the gym, have a post-workout shake. So I consider that a meal.
Yeah.
So that's meal 2. And then go home, usually do like bison, some sort of jasmine rice or potato with a ton of veggies. And then before bed, I like my Ninja Creamies. Or
Me too.
Recently, which I brought you, which was part of
So good.
So they used to be called Muscleicious, and I think they're bringing the name back, but now it's called Pereira's Nutrition. But Muscleicious puddings, I've been eating those. Either that, the bar,
Tell them about the brownie.
or the protein brownie bar. It's I don't even. I mean,
I need to compose myself.
so my business partner from the gym, they used to give me product like puddings 10 years ago, and I would put them on my story, and I get it, back like that was like the sponsorship back in the day. You give me, and I'll post it. So I was like, let me see if they're still in business. And I called them and like, yeah, but we're like not really in like the gym space anymore. We do more like, like mom and pops and soccer, like soccer moms, and like we do like events. And I'm like, let me bring it into the gym. So I picked up some of their puddings, their protein balls, and their protein
Brownie bar type thing?
peanut butter brownie bars. And my business partner, I didn't try one. I was just eating the puddings. And my business partner, Bobby, was like, did you try one of the bars? And I'm like, no. And he goes, it might be one of the best bars I've ever had. So I was like, no way. So Saturday night, I woke up. I did wake up at 3 a.m. and eat another one. But before bed, I tried one, and I was like, holy shit. So my girl was over, and I was like, can you try this? And I said, I'm not going to tell you what I think. I said, just try it and tell me what you think. And she went, oh my gosh, that might be one of the best bars. And I go, yeah.
It's so good.
And
I couldn't believe it.
Agave, it doesn't have junk in it, sugar.
Junk in it or anything. You know what it is some people, if they work on something long enough, they find it just right. And the fact that you kept it in the fridge,
yeah,
it was nice and like cold.
Well, you know what? You got to remember something. When somebody goes, do you have to keep it in the fridge? To me, keep it in the fridge means you're preserving it, and it doesn't have natural preservatives in it, which is why it has to be in the fridge, right?
Sure.
So I don't mind keeping it in the fridge.
It won't, even though it's packaged, usually keeping things in the fridge, it keeps it from drying out.
Yes,
that type of stuff.
melting too, and like it's just it's
soup. What name the company again?
So it's Pereira's Nutrition.
Yeah.
It used to be called Muscleicious Foods.
Yeah. So we're probably going to be guys having those here at Signature very soon because, like I said, they were
it's insane,
so good. All right, back to bodybuilding. 2011, right? First pro win. What show was that?
The first show that I won was the Dallas Europa in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas Europa. And then in terms of biggest accomplishments, 2 first-place New York Pro wins and 6th at the Olympia, correct?
Yes.
And then overall, how many wins?
7.
7 wins overall. Absolutely awesome. So we talked a little bit about your early age.
So quick fact.
Go for it.
Quick fact. Sean Clarita.
Oh.
So when I had those burns in 2017, I left the show. So I don't call whatever. I didn't obviously place at that show. But Sean's first Olympia was his first time beating me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the first time Sean beat me when he won his first Olympia.
Yeah, Sean's had an amazing run the past 5 years. Yeah. He really stepped into his own.
Even when he hasn't won the Olympia and like Keon won it, he still has gone on to like open shows and kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
I was in his hotel room. This is a great story. So I've been a fan of bodybuilding my whole life, right? Just like most people, for me, it was not as old of a magazine, but I remember going to Barnes & Noble and I picked up Muscular Development.
Of course.
And I was like,
the columns in the back.
Oh my God. And then they were like, what is these tinctures that I can take in the back? You know, like whatever, these random things and stuff. But I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching the Olympia for years. And I finally, now that I'm a little older, I've been able to go and been backstage and all that stuff. And then I met Sean here. And so we became good friends.
Good dude.
And
great dude.
yeah, great dude. And he invited me, and the gym was like, yeah, go ahead, to go to his first open show when he did the Legion Pro.
Okay, in Cali.
I don't know if it was his first show, but it was the first one he won. His first
It was his first
open show. Was it his first open
yes,
show?
It was,
I think
yes,
it was,
yes.
right? So that's where he beat Regan and he beat Sergio Oliva Jr.
Yep.
And it was the first time of me fully experiencing a dry out process with my own eyes.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. If you don't know about it, that's why people.
Mind blowing.
It's when people say, like when the phrase "you don't understand it unless you do it or see it," it's true. It's true.
Just to run down for everybody at home. So obviously, bodybuilders.
So my point is this: you probably thought he was already so good the first time you saw him before he started drying out, and probably didn't realize what you thought was dry versus what is actually dry.
What I saw happen in a matter of 3 hours did not make sense.
Yep.
So obviously, like I mentioned, I a degree in kinesiology, and I've all the stuff you learn in science classes. They don't mean anything.
That's why the science-based stuff sometimes gets a fucking shit on.
Sometimes you can't follow the book,
yes.
right? Right.
I agree.
And so we're in his hotel room. I mean, to the point of me and his cameraman, shout out to John Morris, changing his bed sheets, like literally the whole nine, right? And I'm sitting there with my CPAP, sleeping, right? And all I hear is like every hour in the middle of the night, like a shuffle, and then I hear like a piss. and then I'm like all night long. So the next morning, I'm like, Sean, you look like, how do I look? And I'm like, I have an eye for it. So I'm like, Sean, you look really good. I don't think you need to do much. Obviously, just keep drying out and tightening up. He's like, okay. He talks to Matt. Eat this. So I prep his meal for him. Blah, 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 blah.
What year was this?
This was
the Legion.
So it was like probably 2.5 years, 3 years ago, right?
Yep.
So now we're in the hotel room. We're by the big window. He eats the food. He lays down.
This was meal one.
This is meal 1 or 2. I think this is meal 1.
Okay.
This is meal 1.
Because you didn't look at,
Yeah, this is meal 1.
I already know where
so
this
he
is
woke
going.
up fasted, looked ridiculous. Meal 1, right? It was a few pieces of asparagus and white rice, and I think it was tilapia. Maybe the fish might not have even been there because it was the day of the show.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the fish was there.
And he probably blew from the rice just.
When I tell you, he stands up and he goes like this.
And you're like,
and in front of my eyes, because he starts moving a little bit, I just see veins. Veins go like this, up his body, in his chest and everything. And when we're looking like this, so John, the cameraman, we're just like, and he's like, what? Guys, what? Why are you freaking looking at me like that? And we're like, dude.
It's like Transformers.
What the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe that a body could, in front of my eyes, change like, and Sean's already super gnarly.
Of course.
So once those things start to pop, it was unreal.
And you, as the bodybuilder, we can sit there and you, I could be sitting in the hotel room and go, oh yeah, I'm getting fucking hard. Not that hard.
Yeah,
You can feel yourself almost like this warm, tingly, and then it almost feels like you're somebody's playing the piano. Like you start getting these weird twitches,
because the muscles are just start
they start sucking everything in and drying out, and you actually know 99% of bodybuilders can tell you the couple days before a show, fully clothed on, how they look, if they're better or worse, just by how they
feel.
Yes,
it was wild, guy. I'm watching it and I'm like, this is and not to sound.
And Sean's bubbly and round,
and not to sound weird, but beautiful.
Oh yeah,
it was just the fact that a human being could do this to themselves and then present themselves in such a way, and to see the little muscular, because in anatomy class you learn about this muscle and the levator scap and the blah 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 and all these little, and now it's bam in your face. You
can see that under the skin with that.
I mean,
the layers.
And some people, thicker skin than others, right?
Of course.
So, would you consider yourself someone who had relatively thin skin?
I had thin skin. Yeah.
So, now you're seeing these details, and it's incredible.
Yep.
It's one of the coolest sports in the world. My only gripe with bodybuilding, And this is why I'm a big fan of strength sports and whatever, is just because I hate subjective sports.
Yes.
Just because I don't want anybody to tell me that I'm good enough. I want to prove you've
want
done
to knock
both.
somebody out.
Yeah.
You want to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I want to, like in arm wrestling, I want to pin the guy, whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible, and also to see. I mean, we're talking about #1 in the world, right?
Yeah, of course.
You know, yourself, top 6 at the Olympia, winning big pro shows, but to see the doors that it can open for people, and I think it's a good segue to. I didn't know you were also one of the owners of Uprising.
Yes,
right.
Uprising.
So tell people at home a little bit to try to educate what Uprising is, what the products do, and how they can help people.
So Uprising started. So I'll give you the quick stories. I gave you the story before.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had, during COVID, I herniated a third disc in my back. It took me 2.5 weeks to get even approved for my insurance company. So the doctors put me on Oxy. I was on Oxy for 56 days, went through 2 epidurals. After the second epidural, I actually felt fine. I was like, doctor's like, do you need any more? I said, no, I'm good. He actually filled the prescription anyway, which I still have it at my house to this day. And I stopped taking them. I was driving to the dentist 2 days after I got my second epidural, and my body just went into an all-out spiral. Like I was a heroin addict. I've never experienced something like that in my life, and it was miserable. And then a couple months later, I was in Dallas, Texas, filming for Gas and Better Bodies, and my now business partner, Mark Matthews, drove to Destination Dallas, which is the headquarters of Gasp, and he was like, listen, my name's Mark. I work for a Kratom company. I've heard your story. I'm a big fan of yours. I want you to try this product. So he's like, mind if we like sit down and hang out and like, I kind of fill you in on like what it is. I was like, sure. So we came back to my hotel. We, bullshit for a little bit. And he was like, just try it. He's like, and I'm not going to tell you what to expect. And he's like, but you just give me your experience. And he was like, you'll feel it. So I took one of those little tincture shots and we're sitting down talking. About 20, 30 minutes goes by. I get up to take a piss, walk to the bathroom, go to sit down. And I was still in back pain at this point. And I went to go sit down and I was like, hold on a second. I stood back up and I looked at him and I go, dude, I don't know what's going on. I said, but my back is about 70% better. Because even after the epidurals, like I was good, but then like shortly after they just
they wore off pretty quickly.
So I was still in pain and I couldn't believe what I experienced from taking it. And, then I kind of joined with that Kratom company at the time as one of their athletes. But that day I looked at Mark and I go, me and you are going to be business partners one day. Because that was the first thing I've ever taken that I could physically feel it work.
Yeah.
Whether it's a euphoric feeling, whether it's the pain relief that I got, it's something that 10 out of 10 times if you take it, you're going to feel some sort of effect from it. And it just gave me 3 years of my bodybuilding career because my shoulders are so bad. I mean, you saw me raise my hand. My shoulders are so bad that I'm going to need double shoulder replacements. And I had 2 shoulder surgeries in 2018. I had them both done, and I was going to be done. But, having the use of Kratom, believe it or not, and enabled me to be able to go to the gym and train without popping Advil, Oxy, this pill.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunately, Mark and myself with now linked up with Mitt 45, which is the second largest Kratom company in the world. We really are starting to penetrate the fitness vertical because there is a lot of benefits to metragynine speciosa, aka Kratom, if used in a correct manner because it's found in smoke shops. Problem is, people go to smoke shops. What do they go to smoke shop for?
They go to get weed,
going to
not
nicotine,
Kratom,
weed, this, that. They're going to get their high. They're going to get their fix. They're not going to use something for a benefit. They're going to solve a problem.
Yeah, they're trying to alter themselves rather than improve themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, very interesting. Like I tried a little capful, right? And I am also a hyper responder to everything. Like even like I don't use painkillers ever. So if I take one ibuprofen, I feel a difference.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like and my mother's been the same way, which is great. So like I even to a negative effect. Like funny story, I got poison ivy all over me. And when I say all over, I mean all over me. The worst places you could get poison ivy. And they gave me a Z-Pack of the corticosteroid.
That's like nothing.
Right? So they're like, oh, yeah, I am the 1 in 100,000 that gets uncontrollable hiccups as a side effect.
No way.
Yeah.
From Z-Pack?
From Z-Pack.
That's erythromycin, right?
Yeah. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
For how long?
So basically, you know how it's like you like 5 pills, 4, 3, whatever? I had to finish the course. So for like literally 5 days, from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed.
How did you fall asleep?
That was the only saving grace. I would literally do whatever I could to sleep. It was the worst thing in the world. But
it sucks.
Yeah, it was horrible. So I respond very quickly to things. So even taking the little capful, like I wouldn't say it lasted a long time because I had a short amount, but within 10 minutes we were sitting there. I was like, oh, I feel kind of loose. I feel kind of, you know,
and that was
like
your first time
out.
taking it, so you don't even know. Because so depending upon, just like anything else, there's an efficacious dosage that individual, like so a dose that you might take
might be different than yours or whoever's,
and there's different purities, and there's obviously a ton of brands, but like we have a pharmaceutical GMP certified facility out in Utah, and it's awesome to see our integration with MIT 45 and how we're able to really do the things we're doing in the fitness industry. I mean, we had Tanawai Reed, who is this Rock's stunt double's cousin for the movies, Seth Feroci, Goob, Jordan Hutchinson. We had Justin Shire, Sean Clarita, Martin Fitzwater, the list, Lee Priest, Flex Wheeler. We had a ton of
I think what's interesting too is it as you were mentioning to me, you know, for specifically Uprising, you have what are the two ones to help the names of them to go up and down?
So ACE and DCEN are our soft gels.
Yeah. So you have, and so whether you're trying to relax or you're trying to stay focused and alert, it's just dependent on the concentration, the purity, which is so interesting to me. But guys, check it out. Go to, what's the website? Is it just Uprising?
It's IamUprising.com.
IamUprising.com. It's a very interesting product, but do your research. Everything that's out there might say this, that, like, talk to firsthand experiences.
Because back in the day, a lot of people would buy these bagged powdered kratom and they would just scoop it into a shaker cup.
Gotcha.
And there was no tracking how much you're taking, what you're doing, and then like. Now there's a lot. There's what I'll say this because I don't want to make this a big kratom talk, but when the kratom leaf is broken off the plant and oxygen is present, there's then an alkaloid that becomes present, which is 7-OH. Okay, 7 something hydroxy. I forget what it is, but it's 7-OH on the label, and that is actually a synthetic, almost like a stronger synthetic version of metragenine that companies will then alter and then just sell the 7-OH as a quote unquote kratom extract. But that 7-OH, that's where a lot of the problems come from. Gotcha. That's where the things that, interact a lot stronger with the mu receptor in your brain. Like that's where that comes from. So people say, they have issues, or like there's a difference between kratom extract / 7-OH and metragenine speciosa. So people need to educate themselves
just like
and
anything.
Understand what they're taking, because a lot of times they point the finger at something that they think is kratom, but they're actually taking a synthetic version, which is actually much worse for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game in general, right? Is like educate yourselves. We're on the topic of bodybuilding, right? And I think this is a great way to us to wrap up today is, where do you see bodybuilding headed from someone who is now retired from the sport? And I'll say this because that was a perfect segue in myself as a strength athlete, as a wannabe bodybuilder, as an arm wrestler now. Before even taking creatine, I was like, I read my PubMed articles. I have the binders and the research and all that type of stuff. And today it's just like, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to step on stage and I'm going to get my pro card. Where do you see the sport going? Is it in a good place, a bad place, or are we in like a drifting period?
I want to say we're in a good place. But I think the big determining factor, believe it or not, is going to be like, which direction is social media going to take it? Because social media is a driving force. Because like I've said before, you have people that work out to be bodybuilders. And then you have people that are bodybuilders because they love to work out. Very two different.
I never thought of it that way.
Two different, like, think about it. There's people that come to the gym just to take videos and post.
Yes.
Then there's people that come to the gym that don't give a fuck about posting. They just want to work out hard and have a good workout. That's me.
Same.
That's Branch. That's Jay.
Sean. All those people.
Exactly. So I don't need a camera to work out.
Yeah.
If my question,
I actually prefer the opposite.
Let's say this. Let's say you have 10,000 members at Signature, right? Now, if you said one day, cell phones are no longer permitted in the gym. You are not allowed to have any cameras, any cell phones, anything whatsoever in the gym. What % do you think would still come to the gym?
20.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So It's
a good point.
So my point is that back in the day, bodybuilding, when I started bodybuilding, there was only magazines to get recognized. People only knew you if they read the magazines, if they followed bodybuilding. Now we've seen it. There's people that aren't even bodybuilders, never stepped on a stage, that are people look at them like they're professional bodybuilders because of the persona they put or the facade
YouTube
that they
channels,
have.
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the question is more like, where do this generation, where do they want the bodybuilding to go? Because there's not a lot of Sean Claritas, Branch Warrens, Jay Cutlers, Guy Cisternino, and I'm not putting myself in a place with people that have higher, feathers in their cap and have accomplished stuff, because all those guys have bigger titles. But the intensity and the way there's not many guys like James Holling said that trains his balls off. There's not a lot of Roman Fritz. There's not a lot of guys that train just fucking hard anymore.
Yeah.
And like that nitty gritty, just fucking get in the gym and go. There's not a lot of that. And I think that changes physiques, and do we have the freaks like Nick Walker? But think about the 90s and early 2000s and all the crazy competitors that were in the front line of top 10 in the Olympia.
Yeah.
They're not like that anymore. And that was before my era.
Imagine seeing a Paul Dillette walking around here right now. We'd all be like jaws to the floor,
Yes.
Well, those people don't exist anymore.
That's so the evolution is small. I mean, because Samson's huge, right? But Samson's huge. But he's not a Paul Dillette huge, right?
So
know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I think the way I would describe it is people used to bodybuild for the love of
Working
bodybuilding,
out.
period.
Yes.
They were like you said earlier, there's like, for me, when I was a kid, I'm even getting emotional thinking about it. The first time I lifted a weight, I felt important.
Yes.
It was like, it was like, man, like everything, it's in my hands.
Yep.
Right? I can make
it was
myself
pliable. You could
I could touch it. I could feel it. And I'm like, and then you get the pump,
Yes.
and you're like, I feel like a superhero.
Well, you feel like you can control a variable in your life. It's weird.
Especially at a time like you're probably 14-ish something. How old when you first started working out?
I started working out because for two reasons. One, football, and dude, I got bullied big time.
Same thing.
Bad.
Even though I was a large person, I was always big will.
Yeah.
So like for me to start working out, I was just like, even though I didn't really lose much weight, but like I started to see a muscle, and I was just like,
you became the
big will,
the big motherfucker that people don't want to mess with.
Yeah, and it was just like, wow, you feel confidence, and so those people that were, and they're still out there, but it's just so few and far between. But I think, and this is a way I think we can turn things around, and this is tough because people like you and me, we're not afraid to be on camera, right? I can talk an ear off anywhere. It doesn't matter who.
You want to know why? And I don't know. Obviously, I don't know that much about your life, but this lights, camera never bothers me because I got judged so much as a kid.
Yeah.
When I was so scared to speak up. Now I'm like, if you don't like me, then that's fine because I'm not like. But this is at the end of the day when I die. If people go, you know what? I didn't fucking like him, but he was honest and told the truth. I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it because you don't have to like me.
But I think the way we turn this sport, and this is tough.
Yep.
Those people need to become okay being on the camera.
Yes.
Like I remember the first couple times I talked with Sean, on a he didn't like it. Now he's learned to be in front of the camera.
I had to tell him, Sean, you gotta fucking stop posting in 7XLs.
Exactly. So all those little things, right? And because then what people will fall in love with is the genuine characters of those people, right? Because, and this is not a knock on him, but the Sam Suliks, the Jesse James West, but these are they're people that they could be on a camera all day long and blah, 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 whatever. And they're Instagram and YouTube famous, but those aren't the real bodybuilders. Dude, those aren't the people that are obsessed with this.
I was on a flight in first class back from, I forget where it was, 2 years ago. And I was in first class. Jesse James West was in first class. I didn't know him. But so the flight attendant was comes up to me. And this is when I was obviously, still bigger.
A little bigger, yeah.
Are you one of those I was like, I'm a pro bodybuilder. I'm not. And she's like, there's somebody else up here with you that's also famous. And I was like, she's like, yeah, he's sitting over there. So I didn't know what she was talking about. It was Jesse James West. But and I ended up meeting him. He's a really cool guy, but I'm like, people look at him like, oh, that's a like, he's
yeah.
a
They think that that's a
bodybuilder.
bodybuilder.
And I'm not, and I know he's done shows, and kudos to him.
Good guy.
For looking
Yeah.
But like in my brain, that's not bodybuilder to me. So
if you're not. Like, at least it's the same way I grew up. When I was like, I started training, like working out at the gym at 14, probably in my room at 12 with my mom's
because you weren't allowed in the gym.
my mom's pink dumbbells like in front of a TV.
I had the Sandfield ones. Were they still around, the Sandfield
Oh, the
ones?
Sandfield? Oh, yeah, of course. And, or like I had that really weird ab crunch thing that like rolled on the ground.
Oh, yes. We all had that.
So, you know, going into my high school, we had a basement gym with like, you know, the big dome lights that used to hang down, and they were like heaters.
Yep.
And our ceilings were
prison lights.
They were only this tall, so it was like you were being baked, and everything was rusty, and we had a mismatch of Ivanko dumbbells and plates, and
Probably had a blast though.
oh my! And those, if I could somehow like bottle that feeling up, I'd be the billionaire.
High school was some of the funnest, best moments.
Oh, and you know, I'll never forget is, of course, like everybody else, Ronnie Coleman, you get obsessed, right? So we had a Nebula leg press.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the same exact one with the
extender bars?
Yep. And it's because I shouldn't be saying this. It's a passcode for a lot of my things, but there's other things in front of it, so don't worry. He did 2,300 pounds. When I was in high school, my heaviest leg press was 1710 on a Nebula leg press because I was like, I'm gonna beat Ronnie. No way would I ever beat Ronnie Coleman's record.
That was,
dude. That thing, and I'm like,
that thing was an army tank.
If I put 1,700 pounds on any leg press now, it would crush me.
You're done.
But like, you know, at 17, when I was just like, all I could, because I was a heavy guy, all I would do was train legs because I was like strong at it, right? So it was just the cool, but those experiences, those people.
That's what molds you.
Oh, like when people say like, I'll leave you with this guy. I've said this on this podcast many times, and it's just recurring because it's great. When I was in college, my first year, I went to UMass. My second semester, I came back home. I went to Montclair State because I missed home. I took a class called like exercise something. And the professor, it was just about kind of how to go through life and all this. It really had nothing to do with exercise. Yeah. So he gave us this formula about, you know, you have the ability to do whatever you want, implement a strategy, get off your ass and do it, and you'll get a result, positive or negative. But the reason why it's positive or negative has nothing to do with your ability. It has to do with the strategy, and that's where everybody goes wrong. They all think, oh, I just can't do it. I can't do it. This guy had interviewed over 600 Guinness World Record holders just to pick their brains, right? So we get done with class, and at the time I'm training at LA Fitness in Clifton, my max squat was 500 pounds. I'm sorry, 600 pounds. Okay. No, 500 pounds. And I pick up my buddy Rich. I'm like, I'm going to squat 600 pounds today. After I left class, and he was like, dude, you're insane. You're going to blow your knees. You've never even touched over 500. I walked in the gym, and that day, I just walked straight to the squat rack with those really weird octagon plates. Oh, and I go 1, 2, all the way up to 6, which is 5 and a 2.5 after I think 6 plates. And I did it, and I racked it, and from that day forward, I was better because of it. Because I knew that anything I want to accomplish in my life is up to me.
Absolutely.
I can do it. My brain is stronger than I think, and my body is stronger than I think I am. And that is the culture that will solve the world. That'll fix the world.
There's a lot of weaker individuals the older I get.
Yeah.
But I think the world needs shift tide changes at time to time to kind of keep things in balance.
The balance.
I think we shifted way too much one way.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to shift back.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see a new wave of like
hard work,
hardcore motherfuckers come up. Does that make sense?
Especially within the gym world too. Like even now, I go out there and they're starting to see creeping up some bodybuilders that like, they have their hoods up and
they got that attitude. I like. If you're in the gym and you look like you're fucking pissed off, I'm like, good for you because you should be.
Because you know what the funny thing is that guy or girl, when they walk out these doors, is probably the happiest person.
Exactly.
Guy, thank you so much for coming on today, brother.
Bro.
I absolutely loved it. Guys, that's another episode of the SignatureCAST where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. Don't forget to follow Guy Cisternino. Quadro was in the house. We'll see you guys later.